Hi there everybody, Gideon Shalwick here and JB from Primal Video. We're doing something really special here today. We are streaming live to two channels at the same time. One to my channel and the other one
to mine, which is Primal Video.
Primal Video. Now if you want to see us do cool stuff like this, make sure you subscribe to our different channels. If you're watching this on my channel, check towards there at the top of the video. There's a little card there. If you click on that, that'll help you subscribe to JB's channel.
And exactly the same back the other way. So there's a card back from my channel, back to Gideon's. Make sure you jump across and get involved in the conversation, in the chat window on either video. We will be monitoring the comments and the questions, and there'll be a Q&A towards the end as well.
That's it. So today I want to talk about actually iPhone versus Android phone smackdown.
Where is it? Here it is. There it is. Yep.
Smackdown. Right. So
I've got the big phone, so
it is bigger.
It's not about
Is
the
it better?
size.
I wonder.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're gonna have a bit of fun today and talk about using your phone in particular for creating video. And so I'm gonna go through a few apps and talk about that. Jabe's gonna go through a few apps. Also gonna talk about some equipment you can use.
Yes.
Maybe even a bit of editing and how to make it look awesome, post-production. So that's gonna be the topic for today's call. I'm pumped. And sort of behind the scenes, we're running this experiment with streaming this live to both my channel and JB's channel, at the same time.
Yeah,
it's
crazy
cool.
Pretty awesome. Could be a bit of a game changer. And I think if this all works well, I guess we did say that you're involved in a bit of an experiment. So yeah, if it works well, you might actually see more people taking this up, especially for things like interviews and it could be pretty cool.
Exactly. So Daniel's also already saying, can't wait for this. So good on you, Daniel. Okay, so where should we start? How about we talk about some equipment first? I think I'm gonna ask you about it mostly because for you guys watching this on my channel, this is one thing I need to say. When it comes to, what should we call this? The technology side, but the sort of looking into the future and using technology as a way to help you get your message out there into the wide world. I can't think of a person better than JB. A lot of the stuff that I've shared with you guys on my channel in terms of technology, like even this microphone that I've been using, some of the apps that I've been using, live streaming a lot of this stuff, I've learned a ton from JB. So I'm going to ask JB to kickstart this.
That's a very good intro, but I think it definitely goes back the other way as well.
Yeah.
I guess we catch up all the time. We're always talking about the latest technology, the latest gear, and it's all about just making it easy. But this is something that we're pretty passionate about. If you didn't know already, is the tech and everything in and around videos and helping people create them easier and so they look more professional.
And there's something that Casey Neistat, a really huge YouTuber, said the other day in one of his videos. He talked about, he was getting really frustrated with some of the equipment that he was using. And at the end of the video, he's sort of saying something like, in the old days, we've always been telling stories. And back in the day, they'd have little drawing pictures on the cave wall. And more recently, people have been using computers to help tell their stories. He uses video to help tell his stories, and he uses technology to help them do that. And it's not about the gadgets so much. I mean, yes, the gadgets are cool, but really, and we're of a similar mind there. We're using these gadgets to help us, get our message out there, tell our story. Yeah. And so that's really what it's about.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, they're just tools to get the job done.
Yeah.
So in regards to what editing software or what phone or whatever, at the end of the day, they're all going to allow you to tell your story, but it's just the process and how easy and what works for you really is at the end of the day. So
I guess that's why we might even seem fanatical about it. I mean, I would spend hours researching a specific app just if I know it's going to save me a ton of time in the future.
Right. Yep.
So, and same for any kind of technology as well.
I guess that's really the key that you kind of touched on there. If it is easy to create these videos or to tell your stories, then you're going to do it more. If it's a hassle and you're like, oh, I've got to do another video today, totally different energy. You'll think of excuses and it won't happen.
And the key thing is you want to remove friction as much as possible. You want to be able to tell your story unrestricted. And so I think that's why what we have today with our phones allows you to do that. And in fact, it's been a big mission of mine to completely get rid of the post-production of video. And in fact, the apps that I'm going to share with you today, each and every one of them allows you to do that. So you don't, once the video is done, there's no post-production, no post-video editing, which saves you oodles of time. But we want to talk about equipment first, right? Like, so microphones, lights, whatever. Where do you start with this stuff, JB?
I guess it's all comes down to your budget. So the first thing that anyone should have, besides your phone, I'm assuming that you've all got a phone, would be the microphone. That would be my first point. And so we're both here wearing the Boya BY-M1. Google it, awesome mic. I think it's under the around $20 US price point. So just the bang for buck for that microphone is just insane. I mean, it's got a 6-meter cable or something ridiculous, a huge cable.
I think it's 4 meters. Yeah,
4
it's
meters,
huge.
right? Yeah, I can't count. So yeah, 4-meter cable. It's definitely something that you should carry with you if you're going to create content, sort of anywhere on the run or even just from your phone. The next step above that, I would go. You can get a clip-on light, like a little LED light panel that you can sit on the top of your phone.
On your phones, you don't have one lying around by any chance you can show?
No, I actually don't.
So where does the clip on, just at anywhere basically, or just your phone clip into it?
I suppose the next step, so I'll probably jump one, is you want some sort of tripod to hold it on, right?
Right, okay.
So once you've got the audio, because I guess the audio is first because you could hold it like you're doing a selfie. The next step is then is to get something so that you're hands off. So you could use a selfie stick or something to get some different looks and help stabilize your shot.
Yes, right.
The next step above that to make your videos look more professional is to add some lighting in. So you can get a little clip on, I think Manfrotto make one, it's like a $30 LED light panel that once you've got it on your tripod, you can actually get a little adapter and sit it on top.
Oh, cool.
So the quickest ways to make your videos look more professional is with your sound and the light.
And that's interesting, isn't it? Because I think a lot of people think you need a really good camera to make professional video, but oftentimes the sound is more important than the video quality.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you think about this, you go and watch a movie, right? Or you try and watch a movie that's been recorded from somewhere else, you watch it on the internet, and the sound is just awful. The picture quality is maybe perfect, but the sound is awful. It is scratching or it breaks all the time. It doesn't take long for you to just quit and not watch the video anymore. Flick that around the other way, you've got a subpar kind of video that you're watching, but the sound is just perfect. Your chance of watching that video is going to be much, much higher.
But also the other way as well, if you've got good audio and your video is terrible for whatever reason, the lighting's off or you've got a dirty lens and you can't use it, you can at least put photos or images or animations over your audio, and at least your audio is still good.
So you can always fix the video a little bit in post.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a really good point. So yeah, lighting is, the audio is very important.
Audio is the key.
But you've mentioned lighting there, which I think is really important to note as well. I mean, today we're using a pretty fancy DSLR kind of camera to stream this with, so it performs pretty well in most light conditions. But
we do have changing light conditions out the window here, but so
yes,
it'll change. But it's not perfect, but it's good.
It's still going to perform better than an iPhone or an Android phone, though, right?
Yeah.
So you want to touch a bit on that, the lighting when it comes to using your smartphone in particular?
Well, I guess the key for your lighting on your smartphones is that they typically always set to auto. So as you move around and if you've got some light in your background, whatever else, it's going to constantly be changing in your phone. So if you have the ability to turn your phone onto manual exposure or to lock the exposure, then at least if you're moving around, your light is fixed for you. So that's
right.
And fixed for your face. So if you light your face right, set the manual exposure, and then continue with your video, then anything changes in the backgrounds or clouds come over, it's not really going to affect your video so much.
And you can do this on Android?
Yes. Most Androids.
Just checking.
With some of them you will need to get, especially with Android, there's a different camera and different camera software in almost every Android model. So you can get something that's called Open Camera. It's an app, it's a free app, and it lets you have fully manual controls for your Android camera. So you can lock your exposures and manually adjust audio and all those sorts of things as well. So
I guess it's very much app dependent as well in terms of how much control you have over those sort of settings. I think the normal camera app in the latest iPhones are pretty good.
Yep, you can lock your manual exposure.
You can lock it.
Yep. Same on the new Samsungs, you can as well. But not on all Android devices because there's just different software for different phones.
The showdown is beginning.
Oh, it is. It's going to get nasty. I can feel it.
Yeah. Although it's worth mentioning that before and JB and I last night we were talking about it, and it's not like JB is specifically for Android or against an iPhone.
I do have an iPhone. I just choose to use an Android as my daily driver.
Yeah. So, but I think there might still be some showdowning today anyway.
But there's still a lot of things in there that the iPhones do app-wise that there's nowhere near it on Android. But then there's also the same back the other way. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And maybe some of that will come through
today.
So
the solution is to buy both, right? Everyone needs to have an iPhone and an Android device. There you go.
Okay.
Run out and affiliate link.
Actually, we will probably, JB, on your channel, probably in the description area, you'll have, maybe we can add some links on your channel and my channel as well.
Especially things like the microphone. I will add a link to the light as well that I use, little run and gun light.
That sounds like a cool one.
Yeah. The other thing back on the lighting is you can also use what's around you. And so someone back to Casey Neistat as well, he does a lot of his filming at nighttime. So what he'll do is stand outside a shop window. So he uses the shop window light, and so it's actually lighting him up that way.
Nice little tip.
You just look around you, and if there's a bright spot, make sure it's lighting up your face. Makes it hard because you're looking into the bright area, so you got to try not to squint and all of that sort of stuff. But use what you have around you. That's really the key.
Yes, very cool. Now, I'm not sure if you wanted to talk about it already, JB, but you mentioned that there was a really cool new thing out, and I'm not sure if you fully tested it yet, but to help with the improving the audio on your phone, right?
Yes, actually haven't tested it yet, but it looks pretty awesome. On paper, it's awesome. Physically, it looks awesome. Haven't turned it on yet. But what it does is it lets you plug in professional microphones, so your XLR connection, and feed it into your smartphone. So it just opens up the level of the quality of microphones that you can use and the range of microphones you can use if you're recording on your smartphone, through the roof.
And what's this thing called?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Okay, we'll have links in the description.
You're throwing me in the deep end a little here, but yes, we'll put a link, and we will actually be doing a video on it because it looks awesome, and if it works as it should, it'll be a real game changer.
Okay, I can't wait for that because the Boya mic is good. I mean, we're talking on the Boya mics today, both of us, and we just have a little splitter that splits the same audio stream in.
So we're running, we're splitting the audio cable into two, and we've got one microphone each.
Yeah, and that's quite a neat way of doing it.
And you can do the same into your smartphone. You can run two this way as well. It's exactly the same setup. But what the other thing will let you do is run more professional microphones and wireless microphones and things like that as well. So, but it also gives you control. You've got a big volume control on it, which this doesn't. So it's all good. Just more control.
Yeah, and I think that's what it comes down to, having more control, the better.
That's it.
Okay, so I'm just wondering if we should look at some of the comments, JB, before we move on to the next section. Yeah. So let's see. Eileen was saying, "Hi everyone. I had to come to my Mac to find Gideon's stream. On my phone, so I only see JB's." So that's
interesting.
That's weird.
She's commented on mine here. Right now, I'm on Android on my phone and my iPhone, but I don't see that. Right now, I'm on an Android, but on my iPhone, I still don't see that Gideon is live.
Yeah, so
how's that for a showdown?
Yeah, very big showdown. So
Android's pushing yours out, but your iPhone isn't. There you go.
Okay, so she's seeing it on her Android, but not on her iPhone.
Yep.
Yeah, that's weird. So I've noticed something really strange lately. It seems to be working again, but for the last week or so, the recordings of my live streams didn't work on iPhone and iPad devices. And that was weird because that's like 50% of your traffic comes from mobile. It looks like it's been fixed now, but it looks like, Eileen, this is now the live version. It's not working for you, which is really interesting. We have Eileen saying, asking here, but if it's working on both. And let's see what else is there.
I got Carter's coaching, and he says it's more fun over here on my channel.
Oh,
so
that Fraser, I'm hurt. That's like a big.
That's comment of the day.
Stab
right
in the back.
Fun, it's more fun on my side of the fence. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Fine. Very cool. All right, so I guess we could probably move on to the next part, which is the actual apps, because that's really the main thing we want to talk about here is what apps to use on your iPhone versus Android. And I guess we are, by nature, a little bit biased in a way because we use the apps that appeal to us and that we find useful for our particular uses. Yep. And you'll see mine is particularly biased towards live apps as well, but I will have another one for you as well. On my side, I love the kind of apps that allow you to create video on the fly and do the editing even on the fly, whether it's live or not live. And the end result is that there's no post video production. So I just love that person. I'm going to share with you 3 apps. And JB,
I kind of take a little bit of a different approach.
Yeah.
In that I like the more traditional, you do your filming and then you do your editing. I think I'm not fantastic on camera, especially if I'm sitting there reading a script or trying to put out a video with 20 steps or something. I'm going to struggle and I'm going to make mistakes. So I need to go the approach where I need to edit. So I'll get all the filming done and then I'll edit. If I'm going to edit my phone, I need to have that ability to edit afterwards instead of kind of doing it all in one sitting. So a bit of a different approach, but it gives me more flexibility, and and there's some really cool apps to help you do that.
Yeah, and certainly with the approach that I'm using quite often is I'd have a bit more preparation beforehand. So I'd have a very good idea of what I want to talk about, especially for the shorter videos. And so I might already have my B-rolls already set up. I might have already a really good structure of the content that I want to talk about. And so that when I get into the recording mode with these apps, everything is already planned out. So there's more work pre-production, I guess, than post-production.
You're pretty well doing your editing up front.
Exactly, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, then you're just dropping it in as you go.
So I don't know how many apps you want to talk about today, JB, but I've got 3.
You got 3? I've got 2 that I can talk about.
That's right. So 5 all up. 5 is a good round number. It's 5 fingers
really
on the
quick.
hand.
I mean, there's so many out there to choose from. I even had a look last night and even this morning on the Android Play Store just for video editing, and there's hundreds. It's ridiculous how many there are. So the obvious thing is you go to the top and look at the top ones on there, but there's a couple of standouts, and they're standouts for some really key reasons. So.
Fraser's just commenting here, retracts knife from back. I noticed you're back on my channel. Thank you, Fraser. Good to have you back on my channel again.
Wow. Yeah, I can see there's one less person watching him. Thank you. Yeah.
But why not be on both, right? Why not be on both?
Just burn through his data. If he's watching on his mobile, his data bill's going to be through the roof.
Right.
Yeah.
So, or if you're on the Wi-Fi connection, watch one on mobile and watch one on desktop.
Oh, there you go. You can have a conversation with him. So, yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, talk to yourself. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, do you mind if I go first? Because I have 3 and you've only got 2.
No, fair enough. It's all good.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to actually share my phone screen with you on here. JB will do the magic things behind the scenes. So the first app I want to share with you is a live streaming app. And I
Just click this back. Okay, you can hear us now.
All right. Okay, cool. So you guys can hear us now. Yeah, cool. So this is the Wirecast app. This is what it looks like when you have it turned on your phone. And it's really beautiful. What I love about it is the simplicity, and you can stream straight to YouTube. And what's really cool about it as well, you can actually see comments coming up, and you can actually see it there. It comes up sort of on the left-hand side of the screen. It comes a little arrow. You click on it, and it shows you the live comments coming up, which is pretty awesome. It's very comparable to like Periscope or Meerkat or Blab, I guess, or I'm not sure if Blab's on mobile, but Facebook as well. So it's comparable to that. But the difference is you can stream it straight to YouTube and use the infrastructure and the search engine capabilities of YouTube by streaming your content straight on YouTube and do it live. It is so awesome. So the way it works is I'll show you a few little features here. You can have different layers here. So what this means here is you can add different things like a logo or an overlay. Actually, what I have here is you can probably see around the edges of this video, I've got a little bit of a vignette overlaid over this video. So this just looks a little bit cooler. But you can do other stuff like add a little logo in the bottom of your video as well if you wanted to do that. You also have this thing here where you can choose between different shots. So you can add different shots here. So actually this is a little video clip that is this a video clip? Oh no, sorry. There's no video clips here. This is my only criticism of this app. It can only do images for now, but I'm sure they'll add video later on as well. But, I've got say you've got slides here you want to talk about. You can flick between them. live using this. So the end result is you can, you kind of do your editing on the fly and you end up with a really awesome result. And it's so easy to go live. You just click on this big fat red button and then you can select any of your streams that you've previously planned out, or you can go live with your default live thing, or even start a brand new one all from your phone. Really, really cool. So that's the Wirecast Go app. JB, what do you got?
Well, just to throw this out there, when we talked about doing this video, I didn't think that we'd actually be showing our screens. Gideon rocks up this morning. He's like, cool, I'm going to plug in and show my screen. I'm like, well, that really throws me in the deep end a little because...
iPhone wins.
Yeah, well, no, you can still do it on Android, but we just, I didn't want to throw another spanner in the mix with this live setup.
Oh, so you can do it, but it's a bit more...
You can do it. You've got to run through, there's a couple of different apps and different ways that you can actually get your screen shared back through. But I was trying to keep everything not so complicated. But anyway, the best live streaming app, well, actually there's two, I lied to you. There's actually three apps I'm going to talk about.
Okay, cool.
In the Samsung, the latest phone, so the S6, the Note 5, you actually get, and the S6 Edge, you actually get built-in YouTube Live direct from the inbuilt camera. So in the camera, when you go to take a photo, you can actually swipe across, you choose photos, videos, you can actually choose to go live. And it lets you go live directly from your phone with no extra apps.
Cool.
What it doesn't have is the comments. And there is a few little things that you don't get you don't get a really detailed amount of settings, but you've got enough to go live from anywhere in the world just from your phone. So that's pretty awesome.
So it's not ad-based again, right? It's just...
It's not ad-based.
App-based.
App-based.
Yeah,
No, it's built in. It's in your camera app.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
It comes stock. You can go buy a phone and it's there.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
So that's pretty awesome.
Which the iPhone doesn't have. Doesn't have something like that.
No. But it's easy to install an app.
Yeah,
pretty easy. Get some more control and add some pictures and everything in.
Okay.
So the other one that I have played around with is called Live in 5. There's a heap that I've tried, and I think if anyone's watching from my channel there, we did a live call a few weeks ago and we had some technical issues, and I was quickly able to jump onto one of these apps and get the live stream back up and running. That was with Live in 5. Only thing I don't like about Live in 5 is it's got the watermark down the bottom.
So you can't take it off by upgrading or anything like that?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, not as far as I know. So, but yeah, in regards to settings and quality and bit rates and everything, you can control the lot. So that was really awesome.
So you can control the bit rate. So see, that's interesting because with the Wirecast app, you're kind of stuck with what you're given. You can sort of view the bit rate, I think. Let me just double check here while we're live here.
You want me to
bit rate? No, you can't change the bit rate. I just had a quick look. You can't change the bit rate, but you can view it at least. So that's kind of annoying because sometimes you want to have control over that, and so that sounds pretty cool. With
I like to be able to control everything. I don't know, like just
control freak.
Yeah, pretty much. If I've got the internet bandwidth, then why not use it?
Yeah.
So that's good. So then moving on to editing.
Yes, I actually have a couple more apps.
More live streaming apps.
Yes, well, one more live streaming app on the iPhone, and then another one that's not live streaming, but it's really awesome for creating video really quickly on the fly. I'm going to show you guys. So you're done with your apps, so I might as well.
I'm done with live streaming apps.
Live stream. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So all right, so let me do one more live streaming app.
Okay.
And then we can flick back to.
We're going back to your phone.
Yes, let me get the app up. So
I don't want to see that.
You don't want to see what?
No, the picture you had on there. I don't want to see that. Sorry, I just filtered it. I filtered it for you.
There's no pictures on here.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So the next app. Okay, it's already live. So you can see here is actually you can see our setup here a little bit. Let me change the camera so you can see me while I'm talking. So this one is called. How do I change the camera now? Oh, here we go. That button down there. Okay. So this one is called the Live Air Solo app, I think. Yeah. Let me just double check that, guys. The Live Air Solo app. Yeah, this one here. So the Live Air Solo app, pretty cool app. Now, what's awesome about this one is that once again, you can stream live to YouTube, and that's an awesome thing in and of itself. But it's got a bunch of other features. If I swipe to the right, I can pull in video clips. So for example, I can pull in, like if I've got an intro, there's like my intro streaming. How cool is that? I can go back to my face again. I can have video clips that I've recorded earlier. I think, yeah, that's an actual video clip where I recorded a beautiful rainbow. Previously on the other app, Wirecast Go, was only an image that I had. This one is an actual video, which is pretty awesome. So you can do that sort of stuff. You can flick between the different cameras, which you can do with Wirecast Go as well. But you got a ton more features here. So if I swipe right, you can have like overlays on it, for example, which is pretty cool. So you can have a logo or whatever else you want to have there. Very, very cool. And a bunch of other features. The couple of things that I don't like about this app is that you can't see comments from YouTube using this app at the moment. And also, when I first tried this, I had like between 5 and 10 different goes to make it actually connect to my YouTube channel. And even now that it's connected, it's fine. It's a little bit fiddly to try and figure out how you select the stream, which channel or which new video it's going to. But other than that, it comes with all these other really nice bells and whistles, and it's free. The Wirecast app, to use the more extended version, you got to pay like $5 to upgrade. So that's a live air solo app, really cool app to check out as well.
Cool. Sounds pretty good.
It's a good one, yeah. So actually, I use that app as well, even oftentimes for creating videos where I want to bring in other clips like B-rolls or my intro, and I want to do it all on my phone. So if I'm out and about and I don't have my professional gear with me, or I'm not in my home studio where I got all the switching gear and all that sort of stuff sorted, I can do that just all on my phone, stream it live to YouTube. At the end of it, it's done. The video is done and it looks good, it looks professional, and it does a fantastic job.
So in all the apps I've tested for Android, there's nothing that comes close.
Really? Okay.
They pretty much get your video feed out.
Yes, right.
So correct me if I'm wrong. If you've found something that is that awesome, please put it in the comments. But from all the ones that we've tested, haven't had anything that comes close.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I think what's interesting is that we're right at the start of the game right now when it comes to these sort of apps. I mean, they've been around for a while, but in terms of adoption, in terms of the mainstream adopting these things, it's been we're right at the beginning, very, very early. So
it's the fun part.
Yeah, it's fun part. This is part me and JB and I love. Probably in 3 to 6 months' time, we've got to have another call and review the new apps that would have come out since. And
the Android ones will be way better.
Right.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah. That's it.
Actually, there was a comment from Fraser earlier saying, "Sounds like iOS is winning so far." What do you reckon? What do you guys reckon? Watching this live?
I don't know. I think the editing app that I'm going to talk about in a minute is going to be a bit of a game changer. But
so hold your breath.
I don't know.
Hold your breath for that.
We'll see. Yeah.
So I haven't seen this one, but there's an interesting story to that one, which we'll share in a second. Okay, another app from. Is it your turn for an app?
Yeah, you're done with your live?
I'm done with the live one, but I've got one more app to share, which is not live.
No. Okay. Well, let's get into the not live. So you can talk about yours first, because I'm pretty sure mine's going to it's just going to blow it out of the water.
All right. So this last app from me is called Videolicious. I've actually used this app for 2 or 3 years now. It's a beautiful app, and let me get it up on the screen. So it's called Videolicious. Now, actually, before I get it up on the screen, what's awesome about this app is that it's not for live streaming, but it allows you to create videos on the fly and have B-roll coming in, and add audio tracks, and upload to your channel, straight away. And you can end up with a pretty awesome result, a pretty professional looking thing. So it's particularly useful for shorter videos, and for when you go to events and you want to record an event and do a quick announcement at an event. So let me show you how this thing works. So I'm going to open up the little app. So when you open it up, this is your welcome screen. So you start off with your B-rolls. And so they call this your shots. And so beforehand, you already need to have that recorded, or images. So it can be images or videos. And so what you do is you select them. So I'm going to go to my camera roll here and say I've got 4 little clips I want to share. There's that one, and then that one, and that one. Boom. So these are going to be my B-rolls that I'll be using for my recording. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. Step 2 is to actually tell you a story. So now I'm going to record my video, and you'll see at the same time as I'm recording my video, I'll be clicking on these, see these little, these are the B-rolls coming up that I've programmed in before. So, and when I hit on this button here, that's when the whole thing will start. So let me do this now for you guys live. I'm showing you guys live, but it's not a live streaming app. Just keep that in mind. But imagine I'm doing this now at an event or something like that. Or imagine I'm doing this right now, actually. Why not?
Imagine they're watching this live? You're telling okay, you guys just imagine that you're watching this live.
Just imagine you're imagining.
Just make it look a little bit better. There you go. It looks much better now. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, JB.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to hit record, and this will start the thing, and I'll do an actual little video because I'm going to play it back. Hi there, I'm just doing a quick little test here for Videolicious, showing our live audience on YouTube how it works. And this is our setup here. What you can see here is what it looks like from a bit of a wide angle shot. This is our setup that we're doing today for our live show. And we're doing something really awesome that we'll share with you a little bit later. This is a little bit more of a close-up shot with our screen and what it all looks like there. And here is our wonderful JB pulling faces at us. And here's actually JB's brother Mike, who is trying to put the model pose on and look cool. So what you've just witnessed there is a brand new video that we created using the Videolicious app. I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you inside the next video. Boom.
Not bad.
So that all happened. So you guys can't see the video now. This is actually the recording. So what I can do now to show you how this thing turns out. Actually, I'm not even going to play it. I'm going to go into the next. I'm going to save that because I want to show you the next thing. You can choose your music now. And I'm going to just go some theme music. I'm not sure if this is appropriate music, but it looks cool. I'm going to go for the lounge cool nerd track. And I'll have a little bit of
I'm just doing a quick little test
play
here.
There. I'll just save that. And now let me play this preview to you. And this is the final video now. And this is what it looks like.
Hi there, I'm just doing a quick little test here for Videolicious, showing our live audience on YouTube.
I'm just going to pause it there for a second because I want to add a filter. You can add filters as well. There's, oh, maybe you can't do it while you're, oh, there we go. So there's a kettle one, there's a stone one, there's a deep one. I like this deep one. So let's see.
It works. And this is our setup here. What you can see here is what it looks like from a bit of a wide angle shot. This is our setup that we're doing today for our live show. And we're doing something really awesome that we'll share with you a little bit later. This is a little bit more of a close-up shot with our screen and what it all looks like there. And here is our wonderful JB pulling faces at us. And here's actually JB's brother Mike, who is trying to put the model pose on and look cool. So what you've just witnessed there is a brand new video that we created using the Videolicious app. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you inside the next video.
Okay, so there's a few more steps you can take there. You can save it and then upload to YouTube, etc. It is a very cool little app, and you know that's how quick it was for me to create that particular video. I'm done. You know, I'm done in terms. There's no post-production editing. It's done. So that is a pretty exciting little app for me. But I'm interested in
pretty cool. But for me, as I said before, I don't know that workflow would actually work too well for me. I'd have to really put in the time to prepare and go, if I'm going to talk about this, this, and this, I'm going to need to go and shoot some B-roll first to make sure, but you're kind of then locked in to your script as well, which is good for some people. But for me, where I kind of get easily distracted and will run off on tangents and everything else, I'd rather get the audio or the video locked down and then go, cool, I can show this to better explain that and then go and get my B-roll that way. So the app that I've been playing with, and I can't share my screen, but I'll bring this up here. Does is it's pretty well, there we go, we're back. It is the most comprehensive video editing app that I've ever used on an Android device. The only one that comes close is another one called Kine, K-I-N-E, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, is also very good, but not quite as good. So feel free to jump on and get both of those apps and see which ones work best for you and your workflow. Personally, the Power Director is the game changer for me. You can actually use it like a normal video editing software with multiple layers of videos. You can drag and drop your B-roll. You can add effects. You can add music. There's still themes there if you want to do a themed edit. If you just want to do a photo slideshow, it's just a matter of picking the photos and choosing how long you want them on screen for. I mean, it just combines a heap of the smaller apps together, but throws it into a full editing piece of software, which is awesome.
Now, this is interesting that the Power Director, there's a, what do you call them on the Android? Are they called apps as well there?
Yeah, oh, yeah, apps, right, yep.
Who came up with that word? I wonder who came up with the word app. I mean, it's application,
Look,
right?
Probably Microsoft, let's be honest. Yep.
Probably. Okay, anyway, what was interesting story, way back when I started with this is about 10 years ago now, when I started my entrepreneurial career, one of the first, actually the first piece of software that I settled on after doing a ton of research for doing the easiest, best possible video editing. This was on my PC. I know, it's terrible, but I don't have a PC anymore.
People still use them?
Do they?
Some people.
But anyway, I found the Power Director app, and it was just beautiful. Back then, so this was like 10 years ago, and we didn't have iPhones and Androids back then. So it's interesting now that they've come up with this app. So they would have taken all that experience and built it now into
They've
this app.
definitely been around for a long time.
Yeah.
It was kind of, at one point, it was the logical step from your Windows Movie Maker, which was the free option
which is pretty crap.
on Windows. You'd then move up to something like your Power Director.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's exactly it. Yeah. So iMovie was not iMovie. What's it called? Windows Movie Maker. It was just not quite there. You couldn't do B-rolls.
No.
It was really difficult to do music
And,
tracks.
yeah, clunky with music was the biggest thing. But also the formats you could export out as were just horrendous.
Yes.
For the time, it was good, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I guess they were they the first to have a video editing application? Microsoft.
Who knows? I don't know. I can't jump in on that one.
No, I wonder if it was Apple, because Apple's always been a little more creative on the creative arts side than Microsoft. Anyway, we're talking about mobile phones here, not desktop versus
That's a whole nother conversation.
PC versus Apple. Yeah, a whole new conversation. We're going to have a whole new thing there.
Yeah.
Eileen, just by the way, is saying this stream is amazing. And I'm glad you're saying that on my channel, Eileen, as opposed to on JB's channel.
That's all right. She's in the comments on mine as well. And I can see love hearts in there as well. Love you, Gideon. I still love you too, JB. Yep.
I've seen more comments from you, Eileen, on JB's channel than on mine. What's going on?
I think it's a numbers thing. That's what it is. There's more people watching on Gideon's channel. It's all good.
So both Daniel and Des agreeing that it's an amazing stream. It is. It's awesome, isn't it?
It's a bit of fun, and it's awesome that it's working across multiple channels.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And we don't even know how this thing is going right now, because we're not really watching it live. We do.
I actually feel bad looking down at my laptop because I know that you guys are there, but we're still trying to monitor things and whatever else and make sure it is still going out to you. So
and we'll have a nice review afterwards to see how it all goes, and and maybe later on show you guys how we've done it. Maybe.
I'm sure we will.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what's left?
Maybe we could jump across to some Q&A to keep the time down a little bit.
Yeah, cool.
We've been at it for a while now. So,
yeah, good idea.
Feel free to send questions into either of the chat windows on either Gideon's channel or on the Primal Video channel. And
we'll answer them. So I'm gonna just review a few of these to make sure we haven't missed on any particular questions. So Eileen, it's worth mentioning, Eileen, I just wanted to give Eileen some credit there as well. She was the one that first introduced me to the Live Air Solo app. And it was, when I saw it the first time, I was just in love. So thank you, Eileen, for that mention. By the way, guys, also make sure you subscribe to these others' channels. If you hover over someone's name there on the live call in the chat room, you can actually see a little bit what their channel is about and subscribe to their channel. So
at least their common binder really is that they're doing some sort of video creation. So
that's it.
You've got that in common if you're watching this. If you're not, hello anyway. But everyone's got that in common. So there's at least that starting point.
Okay. So I noticed a question here from Fraser saying, actually, let me just. The question is, how does it apply to live streaming from apps? So I'm not sure what that question was about, Fraser. Maybe you can just rephrase that. Maybe just put a bit of context there. I'm not sure. I was asking what is the bit rate and how does it apply to live streaming from apps?
Okay.
That's a pretty good question. Yeah.
So the bit rate is really how much data per frame of video, or the quality of each frame per second of your video that gets uploaded. So the higher the quality, the higher the bit rate. So it also means that you're going to chew through a lot more data. So at the end of the day, it's the data amount or bandwidth amount that you've got that will be the determining factor as to how high the quality of your live stream can be. So obviously a 720p stream is going to be much more, or a much higher bit rate. So it's going to need a lot more bandwidth or internet speed to send that up live than say a 480p stream. So that's where the bit rate comes into play. So then back to your question, being able to change that just gives you a huge amount of control over how good your picture looks at that quality. So some apps if you choose 720p and you can't change the bit rate, it'll just be whatever's determined in the app. But if your live stream isn't going to have a lot of movement, then you can get away with a low bit rate. If you're going to be out trying to live stream motor racing or something where there's a lot of movement or someone running, or you're actually going to be moving while you're live streaming, you want a higher bit rate so that the data in each one of those frames is much clearer, especially when they're blending together. So that's where the higher bit rate comes into play, but your internet speed's probably going to be a bottleneck in a lot of cases, for now anyway.
Yeah, and one thing to be careful of, I'm not sure if it's the same on Android, but it happened on my iPhone when I first started streaming on my new iPhone. It was automatically connected to the iCloud photo sharing thing. And so I didn't know this, but in the background, it was uploading a ton, like gigabytes worth of stuff to iCloud while I was trying to do my live streams. And so it would eat up a lot of the bandwidth.
It would have been expensive.
And yes. and wouldn't leave a lot of room left in terms of bandwidth for the live streaming. And then it ended up being really, it wasn't jittery, but it was pixelated.
Yep.
You know, and that's what you get when you reduce the bit rate.
Yep.
And I couldn't figure it out until I stumbled upon that. And so any advice, if your bit rate for some reason, if your internet's good, but you're getting pixelation in your videos, make sure there's nothing else getting uploaded at the same time. So you can turn that off on your iPhone. I'm not sure if there's similar sort of shenanigans happening on Android as well.
Yeah, you could be syncing to Dropbox or Google Drive or something. Right. I guess the key is, before you start any live stream, is to jump onto speedtest.net and run a speed test and just make sure that you actually do have enough bandwidth. If you don't, then maybe your neighbors are on your internet, or someone's in your house downloading something. Or your Windows updates if you're on Windows, if they're going on. So you want to make sure that everyone else is off the internet or just using a minimal amount to save the data for your live stream.
That's it. Any questions on your side there, JB? I've got probably a few more here as well, but let's just, if you had anybody there.
A few. JB, how often do you live stream? At the moment, I'm trying to live stream once a week. I say trying. I'm really trying to get to the once a week. I think we've missed a couple. I'm running out of one content video a week, one awesome tip on video creation, video production. But I'm trying to up that. So I think the live and the live interaction, live Q&A is a good fun way to interact, but also then it helps create more content and get some feedback from you guys as to how we can help you with your video creation. So yes, at the moment it's a weekly. If it's at all possible, I'm going to try and up that as well. But this stage is one video and one live stream.
Who of you would love JB to live stream every day?
That's a big call. Gideon does a live stream almost every day. You do it not on the weekends, but every other day.
On the weekdays, and so Australian weekdays. So Monday to Friday, I've got a live stream happening. Mostly, so whenever I can. Like sometimes something comes up and I can't do it. But so I've been doing it for 3 weeks now. It's a bit of an experiment. Basically, I just want to see what happens. I want to see what happens to my channel. At the moment, already seeing the health of my channel going, having a very nice steady increase. But I want to do it for at least one more week before I reveal the data on that and the results from that. But yeah, I'm doing it every day. But I reckon, JB, people, let us know if you want JB to do it every day.
Well, that's the plan, is to up that. At the moment, we've got a couple of documentaries and projects that are near completion. So once they're out of the way, then maybe we'll have some more time to jump on the live stuff. I mean, I love the live. Live's good fun. It's watching everything and making sure it's all going well, and it's cool.
And it's that connection, right, that we have with you guys watching right now.
It's the connection.
Yeah. There's a question here from Fraser as well, saying it says iOS camera. Does that mean you can change which camera you're using? I'm not sure which app that was referring to, Fraser, because these comments were a bit earlier now. But in general, for these apps, it's pretty much only the iPhone camera that you can use. So you can either use the front camera or the FaceTime camera. So you can flick between those two while you're live, which is pretty cool. That's both the case for, I think it's a case for actually all three of the apps that I talked about. You can flick between the two. There is an app called Switcher Pro, I think, or Switcher Studio Pro, that is a bit more advanced. You get a 7-day free trial, and you've got to pay a subscription, which I didn't like. But that does allow you to bring in other iOS cameras. So you could, for example, have camera from your phone, camera from your iPad. You can have up to 4 cameras connected and then stream them live all through your iPad or iPhone. So we didn't review that one today because it's that subscription thing related to that. But that sort of thing is possible as well.
Cool.
Okay.
I have another question here. Not sure if you covered this already. Which app would you use if you're doing all the filming on your own and you want the quickest, easiest editing? If you're doing the filming on your own, it's kind of a no-brainer to use your phone and to use the front-facing camera on your phone, so at least that way you can see what it is that you're recording. Better quality would be to use the back one, but it's going to be pretty difficult to monitor that and see what it is that, where you're framed and everything like that. So use the front-facing camera. You can get away in most cases with just using the built-in camera app on Android and obviously the camera app on iPhone. They both have additional camera apps that you can get that'll give you more control over manual exposure and on audio levels and all of those sorts of things. So you can look into those as well. As for editing, use something like the Power Director or copy it to your computer. And I guess the thing is, you don't want a process that is going to be painfully slow for you. If you can edit quick on your phone, then do it. If it's quicker for you to jump on and use ScreenFlow or whatever your editing software is, then that's the key, is to get the content out quick. So that would be quickest and easiest editing was the question. It's really just to try a few things and find out what's the quickest and easiest for you. Because the way I edit might be totally different to someone else. There's so many different ways, and even inside, say, one piece of editing software, you can do the same thing 5 or 6 different ways. Right. So exactly. It's just to work out the best workflow for you. So get a 30-day trial or whatever. And
actually, it's worth mentioning, JB's got a bunch of videos on his channel where he gives those editing sort of tips. There's one tip in particular that I love from JB, where he talks about you start editing from the back. Yep. So you do it in reverse, and that go and watch that video on his channel where he talks about that, and it just speeds up things tremendously. But there's a ton of other videos that JB has on.
Some of them are just so simple, but when you actually look at them and put them into practice, they'll just totally change your editing efficiency. So yeah, that's cool.
So some comments coming through here from Fraser saying, "Great to see you two sparking off each other. It's that authenticity that Gideon talked about." Yeah, absolutely. And this is the thing with live. It's real, it's raw. It's we had a bit of an intention of what we wanted to talk about, but I mean, you saw today that there were some things that we weren't quite prepared for, or I mean,
that was me. I didn't press the button on the
Apple was mostly prepared.
Yeah, well, rocks up with the cable. I'm just going to plug this in. I'm going to screen share my phone. I'm like, okay. I haven't got any of the, I think Reflector is the name of a good piece of software that you can use on Android to get your screen in. Okay. I don't have it installed, and I thought, I don't want to touch it. Let's just do a multi-camera, multi-channel stream, and we'll leave it there.
We'll keep it simple.
I apologize, Android people, but I still reckon the apps that we got come through.
Eileen's just asking whether we'll give the links to you guys. And yes, we will. So afterwards, we didn't think about it doing beforehand, but we'll add all the links we talked about in the description area, so you can click on those.
Gideon's going to sit down immediately after this and just write down the description for both of our videos and put every link that we mentioned in there. So they will be in there.
Thanks, JB.
It's all good. Yes.
Okay, so let's see. A lot of questions from Fraser. Good on you, Fraser. Asking, do you guys have a direction or hope in which you wish to take this kind of collaboration that is not live together? I'm assuming you mean live together, right? So we're not going to live together.
Well, we haven't spoken about it.
The answer is no.
Oh, okay. Well, now we're spoken about it. At least now
I'm sorry. We didn't really talk about this, and we said we will. Now it's maybe a good time to talk about this collaboration thing that you can do with this setup. So when we initially talked about this, so we just had a random coffee earlier. JB's brother Mike came to visit from Singapore. We had a coffee together and we were just chatting. And then JB rocks up and says, you can...
I think it was like, to give him the benefit of the doubt, I think it was actually Mike.
Mike?
Wouldn't it be cool if you could stream live to multiple channels?
So Mike... I don't know.
But he's not here, so we won't tell him that.
He's not here?
No. Well, I don't know. He might be here somewhere.
If he is here, if he happens to be here and he wants to say hi, Mike, and you're watching this, you're welcome to come show your face.
Yes. he planted the seed on this, and
Okay.
then we made it happen. So that was
So
good.
Mike planted the seed. We talked about it at our coffee, and we said, hey, let's do this. Why don't we just do it on Friday? When do we have this coffee? Monday. It was Monday or Tuesday, right?
This week's been a blur.
And then we said, let's just do it. And
It was Monday. Yeah.
And so Mike and JB probably thought about it a lot more than I have up to this point. But some of the key things that huge benefits that you can do with this is basically, essentially what JB and I are doing. We're doing a collaboration, right? We're doing a collaboration, but we're doing it simultaneously at the same time. So you guys watching this on my channel, you can go and subscribe to JB's channel using the little
It's there.
the card.
Wait.
Yeah, you can point to it. So
there.
the card over there. If you click on that, it'll take you to JB's channel. You can subscribe to JB's channel.
And the
Vice
same
versa.
by the way. Yep.
Vice versa. On JB's channel. So imagine now you start doing this, and the person that you're doing this with, they have 100,000 subscribers. You only have 10,000 or something like that. You immediately have access to their audience. It's incredible. So there's two levels of benefits there. The benefits happen while it's live,
Yep.
because the people watching live, they're going to go and jump over and try and watch you live on your channel, but they're also going to subscribe. And the secondary benefit is exactly that. People then subscribing from both audiences to each other, and it's a great way to grow your channel.
But also that you're both getting the content as well at the end of it. It's not just left on one person's channel. It's actually on both your channels. And it's not going to, it shouldn't come up as duplicate content. This is one
of the big questions we have when we, so JB has tested it a little bit and we didn't have any issues, but the big question now is whether YouTube will pick up on this and go, hey, you've got two videos that are exactly the same. But I don't think they would be, because,
it's a stream, and they were slightly different.
They're slightly different. They're two different streams. They started and will be ending at slightly different times. But you could almost compare this to two random people at a live event, and they've got their phones and they're streaming that same event to their own channels. And they might be, even using the same Wi-Fi, same IP address.
Connection's the same. Yep.
I can't see how YouTube would have a problem with that as duplicate content, because it's two separate uploads and two separate, essentially, video files. But I guess time will remain. I mean, if this video disappears after about a week, you'll know something strange went on. But I don't see any problem with that.
No, I think it's awesome. So the only downfall is, as we're going back to bit rates, is we're chewing twice the amount of data that we would from a single stream or single to one channel. So, but in theory, you could actually broadcast live to more than two channels.
Right.
I don't know what the limit would be, your computer power to process all the feeds, but also to your internet speed.
And you might be thinking, oh, okay, if I want to do this, I've got to be in the same room as the other person. And we haven't tested this yet, but we've thought it through. But we think it'd be pretty easy as well to be doing this, with someone remotely, like
through Skype,
or whatever else. And so you both run that same live stream over to your different channels. So the potential here is huge. In terms of channel growth, so far, since I've been watching this stuff for the last decade, still the number one strategy for growing your channel is through collaborations. Because you have instant access to another audience, and not just any kind of random audience, because you pick people who are in the same industry as you. You get access to another audience who is also interested in what you've got to offer. And so the chances of watching your content and consuming your content and subscribing to your channel just goes through the roof. We did this with our Magic channel back in the day in 2009 with JJ the Magician. One of the first things we did after uploading some great content, we had about 5 or 10 videos on our channel. One of the first things we did was we targeted 5 or 10 of the top YouTubers in the magic niche back then. And we contacted them and we interviewed them. There was one guy, I love telling the story, because there's one guy, he had 30,000 subscribers on his channel. We had like 30, right? Or not many.
Nice.
And we interviewed him. So nothing was done live back then, of course, but we interviewed him. He uploaded that video straight to his channel of 30,000 subscribers and linked back with an annotation back to our channel. Now, that was 2009, so it's 2016 now, so 7 years later. That video is still on his channel, And his channel now has, I'm pretty sure, over 300,000 subscribers.
Yep, that's a few.
Right.
Yep.
So not only do you get that benefit right away, but you also get it over time because the video stays on the channel. And imagine doing this now for 10, 20, 30, 40 different channels over time. How tremendously that's going to help you grow your channel. It's huge.
Yep.
It's huge.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of a game changer.
Game changer.
Yep.
That's it.
And this is the stuff that I love.
Yeah.
You love it as well. That's why we're here.
We love it.
It's this pushing the technology, looking at what you can do and how you can use it to interact with people and collaborate and really grow something awesome. So, yeah, as far as we know, this is working well.
So far, so good.
We're just talking to a camera with a chat.
Well, we're seeing the comments.
Yeah, we got the comments. Yeah.
You guys are definitely seeing and hearing what we're saying. Yeah. So Daniel's actually asking, are you using a webcam to record?
Here now? Now I'm using a Panasonic GH4 and it's hooked up with 2 wired microphones. We're both wearing a clip-on lapel microphone. And that feed from the camera is through HDMI to a Blackmagic converter into the laptop.
Yeah.
So that's keeping it simple. It's not a webcam, it's a DSLR. GH4.
Yeah, so this is if you're a little bit more advanced, you want to have a better picture quality, and especially in different lighting conditions.
You definitely could use this, do this with a webcam.
Yeah. Which is what I normally do because it's just simple.
I have the toys laying around.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like
got the toys.
but there's so many times it's like I just need to get a video done, and so you leave the toys away and you use your phone or use whatever it is that's going to help you create the content easily. But I thought for this one we're going to push it to 2 channels. Let's pull out some better gear, more professional gear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any more questions on your channel there, JB?
I think we are all good.
Interesting. I noticed that the live views on my channel has dropped now, and they've increased on JB's one. There's actually more people on JB's channel watching this right now.
Don't read into it too much.
Than on mine. What's going on, guys? Did you all jump ship? I don't know.
Yes. Well, I think might wrap it up.
Yeah, okay, so I guess we've been at it for an hour, so yeah, thanks
everyone
guys.
Get back on with their day.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much for joining. We hope it all worked well, and I reckon we could do this again sometime. Definitely.
I reckon. That was heaps of fun, and thank you guys for joining in and being part of this experiment. I mean, both JB and I are sold on the live video streaming thing, and particularly doing it on YouTube, but we're going to be figuring out how to do some cool stuff on Facebook as well, and sure to be sharing that later as well. So make sure you subscribe to our channels, give us a thumbs up.
Yep.
If you haven't yet, share this around with other people that you think will find this useful. Let's build this community together, and who knows, we might be able to do a joint venture or a collaboration with you.
Definitely, and feel free to leave any more comments in the comments section if you've got any other questions or anything on this on either of the channels, and we'll get back to you and help you out. And enjoy the weekend.
Brilliant, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.